Hello and welcome to Minigame Monday, the Minigame Monday before a Protospiel Online convention weekend. Today is May 12th, 2025, and next weekend, the 16th through 18th, we'll be having our May session of Protospiel Online, one of the three that we run each year. So today I'm going to be doing a crossword, interchangeable puzzle words, a word search made from titles of games that were play tested back in the August 2024 session. And we're almost to the end of the series of puzzles that I've created out of titles from August 2024. We'll have one more after Protospiel Online weekend. And it may be the Monday immediately after Protospiel Online weekend or 2 weeks after that, but let me go ahead and put the link to the puzzle in the chat, first of all, real quick. And feel free to say hello if you're joining me in the chat. I'm going to do something different for this word search, solve. We'll call it solve with quotation marks. Because, I mean, of course, word searches aren't really logic puzzles. They're just kind of they're a diversion, something to attract your attention to them and kind of maybe a meditative practice. But I'm finding that meditative practice not a great thing to do live as a kind of something for people to show up to and participate with me. It's a very solo sort of thing. And it's also not very easy for me to talk while I'm doing it. And so sitting silently staring at the screen doesn't seem like a very engaging stream. And also what I'm doing here with the streams is not so much primarily to have great TV, but to give visibility to the puzzles using the outlet of the stream, right? So it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not going for like highly entertaining, but I'm also not able to finish in the 30 minutes when I try to talk and work on it at the same time. So hello, Jack. Thanks for joining me. You're becoming a regular around here. I appreciate it. But so instead of solving the word search, I'm going to feature it by talking one by one. We'll see if I can get through all of them quickly enough. These are games that were play tested at Protospiel Online 2024 in August. So they are not necessarily listed on the website, but they are definitely in the Looking for a Game channel in our Discord. That's kind of how they got on this list to be in this word searches. I have a kind of a list that's kept of every title that gets published there. Some of them get published multiple times and get played more than once in the weekend, but anything that got played once got entered once in one of these series of 4 word search puzzles. So what I'm going to do is switch over here to seeing the puzzle and start it up. And instead of scanning the puzzle and looking for this word, I'm going to search for actual size may vary in Discord and then read the around August 2024 time description of it to you. So I'm not going off of memory here, and it's not depending on if I have play tested it myself, but it'll be there. There'll be something that the designer said about their game that I can share live on the stream. So this is one that I have play tested. Actually, I've play tested it physically and digitally. It's been around for a while. So, and also games come back, repeatedly to events. So right now, like first thing I'm seeing is that it was here in January as well as August, but I'm going to just scroll back a little bit and find one that's truly August in case, anything changed. An abstract, not quite area control game about weaving self-fulfilling avoiding prophecies is from the designer Andy Jewell, the description here. And it's been looking for a retheme, or that's what SET is looking for. This is a pretty well locked in, developed mechanically game that's looking for a home in the market. So now that we've talked about it, and this is a puzzle, so I've got this puzzle open, right? I'm going to use a tool the puzzle has, which is hint. I could just straight up reveal this one. I've selected it, and now I'm going to hint. So I'll make it slightly discoverable and find the first letter and highlight it for y'all to say that. Okay. So I'm going to do that for all 24-ish or so. These are the last set of them. I've done 3 word searches already, so this goes to show about like something on the order of 100 titles got play tested at August 2024. And speaking of Protospiel Online, let me put in the chat to that May 16th, and I'll just, unless people have things to say hello. Oh, you know, something else I can say, if you're in chat and you want to, and that's fun for you, if you want to work on the crossword, I did it again. I'm interchanging word search and cross search in my word memory banks. This word search, if you happen to find one, or you want to look for one, and it's time for me to show where it is, if you want to pop into the chat that you found it and tell me where it is instead of me using the hint, I'm happy to do that. But otherwise, I'll just do this kind of in a solo way, and also put up that the link to badges for this coming weekend. I'll show it in the footer here while I am working on this. I also will say there is another stream. Like, I don't usually do more than 1 stream a week, or I haven't been, but there will be another stream on Thursday night that is going to be going over all the prototypes that are shared to the website in advance of the event, to give people a chance to browse it and think about what to look out for. I'll clarify that this is not, posting it to the website is not required to play test over the weekend. And that's why some of these things that were play tested, I can only guarantee they're in the Discord. They might also be on the website, but I can only guarantee they're in the Discord if they're in this puzzle, right? You don't have to publish it. And when you publish it on the website, you're not publishing like a schedule that you're committing to. You can say kind of which days you plan to attend so people know when to look out for you, but there's no set schedule for those things that you post. And we love having them in advance because it gives us a chance to feature you. Emily Vincent will be joining me for that stream. It won't be just me solo like these Minigame Monday streams are. And we'll be going through and talking about also with people in chat. Those are usually more people show up in chat and share their stories for us to feature, like pop up on the screen and share that they've play tested it or things they know about the game, whether or not the designer's there too. And the designer also can answer questions about their game if they attend. So it's a very different kind of more social, less solo stream that's coming up this Thursday night, which is our practice to run it the eve of Protospiel Online. So Protospiel Online opens on Friday, and Thursday night we'll do the stream. Okay, so all those announcements out of the way, I'm going to start my practice that I said I would do. Back to the puzzle. Okay, I'll go alphabetically instead of cross. But let's see, Archipelagods. I think, and I always smash these into a single word. That's one like little confusion I have when I go find it is it 2 words, or did I smash it into 2 words? Let's try 2 words. Yeah, okay. So Archipelagods is exactly the way I've written it here is how the designer writes it. And this is from Peter Davis, who's one of our mods. And I actually didn't get to play test this, didn't notice this title from Peter, so I'm learning this. Yeah, I like this. I like this way of reviewing them because I don't necessarily have time to kind of look back and remember post by post. So this kind of creates that moment and chance for me too, which I like. So I'm reviewing. I'm reviewing out loud whether I like this process and whether this is going to be the word search process for these streams going forward, but I feel good about it so far. All right, so Archipelagods is a light, card-driven area control game for 3 to 4 players. Players compete as elemental gods visiting islands for followers and favor. And Peter was looking for, said under looking for, it's early in the design, all feedback is valid, it is fun, is it fun, where are the rough edges, did something break, etc. And this is about a 65-minute game with teach and feedback and everything. So, and I asked for this we asked for this in the post because we got feedback from publishers that if they're in our server, even if they don't attend the event and they can see the posts, they like to know whether or not this person is open to a publisher so that they can have that in mind. So that's why we ask what the publication path is. And Peter said self-publishing and or looking for a publisher. And we have a new visitor. Hello. Pipnetic. You're curious what I'm doing. I talked a little bit more about what I'm doing than I necessarily usually do because this is a series where I repetitively do kind of the same things. But I am changing my process for this particular puzzle this time, so I will try to give you the rundown. First of all, this link that I have up is Protospiel Online May session. Runs 3 times a year. This May session is coming up this weekend. So, like people who are being featured right now from August 2024 in puzzles like these, the designers who bring their titles to May will eventually, I kind of have a bit of a far out, as you can see, publishing schedule for it, find their game titles in puzzles that I've made for these Minigame Monday streams. So right now, what we're doing is solving a word search. This is one of 4 different kinds of puzzles that I solve on these streams on Mondays, cyclically. And I am not going to sit and look for the word this time. That's what I had been doing before. But instead, I am going to go to the place where the game was posted for it to end up getting into this word search, which is in our Discord server in Looking for a Game. Games that are in word searches were play tested at a previous Protospiel Online. There's other ways you can share your game with regard to Protospiel Online. You can post it on the website beforehand. You can share it as a sell sheet. And when you publish it on the website, you can kind of give more full or simpler details. And the ones that give more full details, I can make crossword puzzles with them. So these may or may not be findable if you search them on the website, but they are in our Discord server under Looking for a Game. So I'm not showing the screen when I look in Discord. I'm just going to read it because, people's real names are in there and stuff. And I just don't feel comfortable. I feel like there's some expectation of privacy in Discord, so I don't ever stream a Discord screen, but I'm reading what the designer said about this game. So I just did Archipelagods. I'm on the second one. And now, if you want to, audience, look for the word yourself and type in chat like it's in the bottom. It starts with that A in like the 3rd row from the bottom or something like that. You can tell me and I'll find it that way. But otherwise, I'm just going to ask the tool for a hint and see the first letter in the grid and search for it just a little tiny bit. I'll figure out which direction to go. Okay. I'm having a hard time getting the cursor to keep with it. I think that might be because of my Zoom. Let me see. Is this better or worse? Okay, I'll do that. So Archipelagods. That one is from Peter Davis. All right, now I'm going to do As the Earth Crumbles. This one I play tested myself. Not all of these will I have play tested myself, but of course, like a huge part of why I run this event is so that I can spend the weekend play testing with people. And so I do get a lot of them, but I of course can never get all of them. This particular one I did play test, and I remember it was one that was very three-dimensional. Like, the 3D nature of it was really important, and it was going to be difficult to play in a 2D surface. So it was in Tabletop Playground, which is a platform players have to buy, and not all players have it. And not all players have a computer strong enough to run it either. So I think I got to play test it because I was one of the people who had the ability to do that. And it was, I can report about it. It was super cool. It had some really cool 3D models in it. It was the physical componentry of this game, if it comes to market, is going to be really cool. So this is from Damian Schneider. Draft tiles from the crumbling surface of the earth to build your own floating cities. Fill your own purse, but make sure to preserve and develop the culture and prosperity of your citizens. And at the time, this was play tested in August 2024. They were looking for wanting to test the general flow, player progression at the end of the game, and how players pick up the rules. And this was estimated to be an 85-minute play test, including teach, test, and talk feedback. And they are looking to self-publish or find a publisher. Okay, so without any mention, without anybody in the chat telling me that they have found this one and where it is, I'm going to ask for a hint and highlight it. Boom. Okay. Yeah, and this is a puzzle that I have built with a tool. You can kind of see it says Amuse Labs there. It's they support all 4 kinds of puzzles that I'm making, and so it's like a suite of puzzles that I'm building. You also can, in the chat, you see the link to this puzzle. You can play with it yourself, share it with friends, or also there's this this play together button. Can give you like a link where you can both be in the same surface, similar to playtesting a game online. I haven't done it yet, but you can play together from the same link and make the crossword go faster. This is cool. I think that's a neat feature. Okay, so Bad Eggs. This one I have not playtested. Let's see what the designer said about it. You know, wow. Okay, I have to scroll down a little bit because there were a lot of shout outs about this, about this one. I did not get to play it though. So this one is from Nick Federico, and who could potentially be your team captain, depending on which team you get auto sorted into as you register. But this is somebody from our team. And the description is a lightweight push your luck tile flipping game with an egg theme. And they're looking for any and all feedback is welcome. Specific feedback or turn order would be awesome. A 45-minute estimated time with the teach, test, and talk. And they are self-publishing this game. All right. And now I'm again checking the chat. Nobody has told me that they found Bad Eggs, so I'll ask for a hint. And not spend a silly amount of time just staring at a grid of words like I have been doing for the past 3 word searches. I am playtesting these streams as well. I think, you know, the concept of playtesting can be applied to pretty much anything in life, right? Anything we do, we're trying stuff and seeing if we want to do it again and all that sort of thing. Okay, so also scrolling past a couple of shout outs about this one. Beat tag is from Johnny Chin, and This is another one I haven't played myself, but it says Beat Tag is a flexible programming game about tag with a music theme. It originated from the challenge to make a tabletop rhythm game and has evolved into a tag game. And what they were looking for at the time of testing back in August was testing if the trigger is strong enough, or tagger is strong enough. Okay, that role in the game. The tagger is strong enough if they are a threat to all other players at all times, and how scoring feels. Estimated time for the whole playtest, 55 minutes, and publication path is self-publishing or looking for a publisher. And I haven't been, okay, there's more information. I'm kind of skipping around some information, and I don't know, maybe, okay, I'm going to try reading all the information for the rest of them, because it's interesting to hear too. I think a lot of people use ScreenTop.gg, and like how often that's going to get mentioned, I think is interesting. So it might be a little repetitive, but this one used ScreenTop. It's a 3 to 5 player game for a casual audience, and it's nearing completion in its dev status. Okay, or was at the time it was tested in August. So let's look for a hint for Beat Tag right there. And Bread. This one I have play tested multiple times. I have done a unguided playtest with a physical copy of this one, so I'm familiar with this one. Let's see what Zoe says about it at the time of, oh gosh, one word titles are, you know what? They're really smart for being easy to spell and say and share, but I'm gonna have to, they might be a kind of common word. I'm gonna have to scroll back a little bit to find Bread from August. Okay. From August, it said looking for unguided tests. And the description is a multi-victor Tableau engine builder about making infrastructure for survival on ScreenTop. A 70-minute game, or 70-minute playtest session. 3 to 6 players. Casual, nearing completion, and self-publishing and or looking for a publisher. And I think, this one is likely to be, since August, I think the development has come that it's likely to be published under the Lunarpunk brand, which Zoe and Matthew have launched. So, okay, I'm going to look for Bread in get our hint about Bread. And we'll do Burn After Reading next. My sense of this one is that it's kind of a more of a journaling or RPG type game. But let's see. Just based on the title, that's what it makes me think of. But I haven't played this one. Burn After Reading is from Joshua Adams. It sounds like it might actually be a little different than I assumed from the title. Send your agents on missions to recruit new members and complete objectives in this interactive espionage deck building game. Looking for testing fairly foundational changes to the core mechanisms, looking for feedback of all kinds. Built-in ScreenTop, 85-minute playtest, 2 to 4 players for a medium audience, dev status nearing completion, and self-publishing this game. Okay, cool. So let's see where the tool says it is. Here it is. Okay. And let's do Champions of Adnir. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm doing my best there. Okay, let's see. This one is another one I haven't played. Oops, I didn't get it copied. Just a second. Okay, from August. All right, this was from Parker Barassa. It is a shuffle building combat card game in a quirky fantasy setting. It's mostly finished, looking for final tweaks. It was built in Tabletop Playground. 90-minute play test, 2 to 6 players for the medium audience. And again, repeat, nearing completion and looking for a publisher. Yeah, so this is an example of one that needed to find people who could use Tabletop Playground. And let's see where it is in the puzzle. There we go. And we'll go back up to the top of this list. Chaos Poker. I can picture. I mean, poker's pretty evocative, right? For gamers and for kind of, everyone. It's interesting. Poker has this it has a Western vibe, but it also has a casino vibe. I recently watched the movie. Oh, that's you. Jack's actually here. Cool. I recently watched The Sting, which, well, no, it says you. Yeah, I mean, maybe you've, oh, interesting. Pokerish. Did you change the, ooh, I think Pokerish was also in one. Did you use 2 different names the same session? You got double count. I got double stats for that because it does say your name. It's from you. 18 card Texas Hold'em. And testing an early core concept. Yeah, so you changed the name mid Protospiel, maybe because maybe somebody called it Pokerish or something like that in a playtest. Yeah, okay. And it was screen top, 30 minutes, 2 to 4 players, casual, new in August, and no plan to publish. Enjoying making stuff, which is totally valid. Sometimes I don't think I would say I prefer anything other than anything else, but I feel really excited that things get played at Protospiel Online that are pretty hard to find, not anywhere else, but they're not going to be readily accessible to thousands of people. It's one of the few places where it would be. And I like, from the attendee perspective, I like playing them, and from the organizer perspective, I feel really happy to support the ability for that to happen. Oh, interesting. Circles and squares isn't coming up. What if I don't put spaces? Let me just say circles and see what happens. Yeah, and I would say I have not, when I made these puzzles, I didn't do what I'm doing now. I didn't scan through the posts in looking for a game. We have our Discord plugged into a lot of spreadsheets and stuff and automations to be able to review things quickly after the fact. So I pulled this instead from a list that, as people post, the names get added to a list that I just have and can use for things like this word search. So I was a little, okay, they used an ampersand. That makes sense. That's why I couldn't find it when I searched for it. This was from Matthew Hawker. I didn't see this one get posted. I actually haven't heard Matthew talk about this one. Matthew's another, was one of our mods. But see 5 circles or squares, avoid seeing 5 triangles. And looking for general thoughts, built on screen top, 30 minutes, 2 to 4 players, casual, new design, and self-publishing. Oh yeah, and I should say too, giving Jack a call out from Seeing Their Game. They are one of our sell sheet reviewers, so also on the team. And let's see where circles and squares is in the grid. There we go. Dream Guardians, I am familiar with. I didn't quite, I almost play tested this and then had a customer support kind of emergency to dip from the playtest I tried to do of this. But this is from it posted by Kenneth. Kenneth and Colin often are a design team, so I'm. It doesn't ask you to mention your co-designer when you post for looking for a game. Like you could put it in your description if it mattered a lot to you. But you can do that when you do it on the website. But I'm not sure if Colin is a co-designer on this, but I wouldn't be surprised. Kenneth is one of our mods. Yes, yes. Sirax and wait a minute. That's right? Oh, yeah. Got it. Squares and yeah, right. It's not quite race car. Is that one of those that's front and back? One of the I can't remember what the word for words like that is, but there's like a term for it, right? But yeah, so the description of Dream Guardians is tic-tac-toe variant and looking for all feedback. How funny. I'm waggling my finger at Kenneth because this is from January. Did Kenneth say something? Because that's not really the hook. That's not the hook of this game. When it says the same thing. It says the same thing in the old one. I happen to know because I sat for the explanation of the game and didn't get to actually. It's called a palindrome when it's spelled the same way forward and backward. Thank you. Vocab. This it's more than a tic-tac-toe variant. It's a storytelling. The idea is to man, I can't even remember or like articulate it well. I'm gonna waggle my finger at Kenneth and tell him that he needs to say a little bit more about the hook of this experience, but it's it involves kind of imagining a dream guardian and applying some characteristics to them. It might involve some journaling. I can't remember, but anyway, it's on Screentop GG. 45-minute playtest, an exactly 2-player game for a casual audience, and it was new as of August with no plan to publish. Interesting, no plan to publish. Oh my goodness, this is funny. I think it's a very publishable idea because it involves sort of just there are IP opportunities with it. Maybe I'll just say it that way. This is funny. Okay. When I did playtest it, it was not in the official like LFG flow, so I don't think I even looked at a post like this before playtesting it. You know, and I'll admit, I pretty much just want to play with everyone, so I'm not super discerning. I'm not somebody who's reading through these and being picky, but other people might be. All right, so back to the grid. Dream Guardians. There it is. It's starting with it. Okay, ending with an S. All right. Duck Duck Sploosh. This one I didn't play it in August 2024, but I have played it. This is a silly late night memory for people who are at a particular Protospiel online. I cannot remember which session it was, which year it was or month, but it's usually supposed to be a 6-player card game, but everyone wanted to play together. like 12 people wanted to play together before the convention closed on a Sunday night. And so like people got together and like helped Kirsten add extra seats, and we played as like pairs instead of single people on a lot of spots. And it was just chaos and ridiculous. But what was said about it in August of 2024 was, this is a silly take that card game of a big water fight. When mom has been called to help one too many times, she ends the game and the driest player wins. Looking for some major iterations have been made, so trying to find out if it's broken, if it's still fun, what's working and what's not. Built-in screen top, 50-minute playtest, 3 to 8 players, audience casual, and the dev status is middling, looking for a publisher. And let's see where it is in the... All right. Now we've got Duelist Dungeons. I can't quite see the end. I can see the interface lets you do this, but I don't. I don't feel like it. I don't need to, based on the way I'm interacting with this situation. All right. Duelist Dungeon is by Blake Shoemaker. And it says Jonathan Shoemaker, so I think in the parentheses. So when it's posted, it uses the username, it tags the username of the person who posted it, and then there's also a place where the designer name is requested. So, you know, if somebody is the developer, like they didn't design it themselves, but they're doing the playtesting steps for somebody else, this is a reason why there might be two different names. Sounds like they might be brothers or father and son or something like that, but cousins, family. So the description says, on guard, glory awaits you in the Duelist Dungeon. In this 2 to 4 player strategy game, you will move your character around the grid collecting XP experience. Be careful though, your opponents are doing the same. Use your abilities to hinder them. And they're just looking for general feedback. This was built on Tabletopia, 90-minute playtest estimate, 3 to 4 players for a medium audience, and it's in final testing, being self-published. So let's see where it is. Okay. Right there. Got it. Okay. Holiday hijinks. I think this might say Hanukkah. In other words, Holiday Hijinks is a series of 18-card puzzles, most of them designed by Jonathan Chaffer, who tests a lot of them at Protospiel Online because it's a great opportunity. Because they're escape rooms, you can play them only once. Like, once you've played, you really can't... Like, maybe you could give certain follow-up feedback about certain puzzles if they seem clearer now, but you can't really report clearly like where you're confused because you have that foreknowledge of what happened last time. And so, yeah, new people that haven't played them are easier for him to find at Protospiel Online than his like local playtest group, he spends them quickly. But Holiday Hijinks Hanukkah is made by Kirsten Lund. And I know the background of this, that she is like, Jonathan is consulting with her to help her use the same format that he uses. And it says she explains it too. It says, an 18-card escape room game, emphasis on logic, wordplay, code breaking, and observation. Work cooperatively to solve puzzles and escape. And this is in Jonathan's Holiday Hijinks line, and with his guidance, but not designed by the expert himself. And looking for, this is early on, so it doesn't have the app or polish of what you see from Jonathan. At this stage, I'm hoping to get an idea of how the various puzzles are working. So it doesn't have, it's called Holiday Hijinks Hanukkah. It's probably going to have like a title, more Holiday Hijinks usually. I think there might be another one in this word search, like the Kringle Caper is an example, where it's like a title of an adventure title, but focused on a certain holiday. and Jonathan doesn't personally celebrate Hanukkah, so brought in a different designer and consulted with them so that their perspective as somebody who has celebrated it is part of choosing the content of the puzzle. It was in screen top, 75-minute playtest, 2 to 4 players, casual, dev status is middling, and it is under contract with the publisher. So this is a line that a publisher releases, and Jonathan doesn't publish them himself. He releases them with the same publisher. So yeah, so it doesn't have I don't know what its name is going to be. I did get to play this one. And it was cool because I also am not familiar with celebrating Hanukkah, but the way it's built is to kind of teach you about Hanukkah enough for the puzzles to make sense. Or that's the goal with it. Oh, oops, I forgot to do the hint. Here we go. It's a very long name. And yeah, Hanukkah ends with it. Yeah. Okay. Ends with an H. And now on to Hollow. This one I have play tested. This one, doesn't take long to play, and it fits a large group. So I think a lot of people who have attended Protosville Online have play tested this one because it's easy to, and it was tested also in January. So I'll scroll back to the time when it was play tested in August. Here's one. You are a soul, punished to the depths of the darkest purgatory. Will you seek to become something better or succumb to the depravity of your darkest desire? Lots of D's. Looking for feels, vibes, player experience, scarcity, or by scarcity, I think what would be meant there is like how difficult it is to get the goal you choose to pursue. It was on Screen Top GG, 50 minutes, 3 to 8 players, casual audience, middling in dev status, and self-publishing this. Like, I think this one will be coming out with the company that Matthew and Zoe have started, Lunar Punk, that is for multi-victor and victorless games, which Hollow is a... that keyword wasn't used to describe it, but Hollow is often cited as an example of what Matthew and Zoe mean when they say, I would say probably victorless is what they would describe Hollow as. Like, Matthew's very careful not to say, if this happens, you win. It's just an outcome. If this happens, you fade away, or I don't think that's quite the right word, but a synonym of that. You wither, maybe, is the word, but which you can decide if you say lose, that is your choice. It's not what the game is telling you is supposed to or not supposed to happen to you. And this one is Loot Box. It was also tested in January, so let me scroll back to an August description of it, since we're doing an August puzzle. Here we go. Manage an inventory of items for your guild in this TCG-inspired multiplayer deck builder. Looking for observing market interaction. Built-in Screen Top GG, 85-minute playtest for exactly 2 players, medium audience with development nearing completion, and self-publishing and or looking for a publisher. This one I have playtested more than once. It kind of has a you deck build, you play cards out into set areas that are called dungeons. And dungeons have room for a certain number of cards, and when a dungeon is full, it kind of triggers a check to see which person did the best, like put the most power towards that, and then they'll get more benefit of loot if they put more power towards that. And there's just a ton of unique cards, and just it's all a bunch of cards that are just adventurer equipment, just a ton of adventurer loot. Okay, let's see where it is in the... There we go. In the grid, 2/3 of the way done. Nylon Chaos Sky Pirates. Let's find this one. This one has had, I know, a few different names. We're back to so yeah, it has a name, Nylon Equestria Nights, in January, but let me scroll back to an August time. Here's one from August. It's a cooperative lane defense strategy card game. Blind playtest, unguided rulebook, and TTP link will be in the... Okay. Asking for a blind playtest, unguided test. Rulebook and TTP link will be in the created thread. Meaning, Kenneth is referring to the fact that he asked for a pre-planned time so that there would... so that a thread would open under the post and people could, and generally in looking for a game, the only thing that posts are the games. But when they're pre-planned, a place where people can talk only in the thread, and say like, I will be available, or like, can I have the rule book, that kind of thing. Like a small side conversation can happen under the post when you choose a pre-planned time. So that's what happened here, and that's what he's talking about in the description. And hard stop at 60 minutes. So promising we will not, not promising to finish the game, promising instead to have a minimum, or like a max time, to play. So testing the rulebook to make sure it all makes sense. Built-in tabletop playground. Oh, okay. But that's funny. 150-minute playtime. So the 60-minute is the test part. So 105-minute playtest session. So like making plenty of time for the teach and time to talk at the end. And then 60 minutes is you won't play the game for more than 60 minutes is what's meant by that. 2 to 3 players, medium audience, nearing completion, and self-publishing and or looking for a publisher. Yeah, I do know some backstory. This one has been around for some time, and I know that it came... TS, there we go. From a really epic RPG that these friends played together, and like beloved characters came out of, and they want to take those characters and put them into a story other people can enjoy, which is a really... this is one-on-one basketball, and the designer doesn't spell it with words, but sometimes I have to translate things into letters, even if it's not the way the title would be written, because numbers in a word search would not be nice. Let's see if typing it that way finds it. Okay, yep, here's one. That one's this was also tested in January, so let me scroll back to August. So this is, Eric Ditmore, who is another one of our mods, and helps in the background with some things for me too. Very appreciated. And this is a fast-paced 2-player trick-taking basketball game. Win tricks to shoot the ball, then roll a die to see if you make your shot. Trying to zero in on the core gameplay loop. Built-in screen top, 30-minute playtime, exactly 2-player game. Casual audience, new design as of August, and looking for a publisher. And it is in the grid right here. Prophecy Quest. One-on-one basketball I have played. Eric did a fun tournament. I didn't play it at Protospiel, but he did a tournament in his server, and it's so quick and punchy that like I was able to play either 2 or 3 games in like 45 minutes. So it was really cool to see that superstructure of the event that he was kind of playtesting, I think, too, in his own server. Okay, it was also tested in January. This one is from Joe Slack, and I know also this is a co-design with Joe and Joachim, who are both mods for us. So I know that they became, Joachim has told me, he became a design partner with Joe from meeting him at Protosville Online, and it's one of the reasons that he wants to, be on our team and help us back, that it just made a big difference for him finding a good design partner in Joe. And I did get to play this one. I might have played it in January instead of August, though. So in August, they said JRPG-inspired competitive adventure game where the players travel around a map, fighting monsters with dice rolls and doing quests to gain gold, items, and XP. The first player to kill the final boss wins. So it's kind of like, it's interesting. It's got a cooperative vibe in that you're a group of adventurers, but they're going for, let's see if we can make that kind of scenario straight up competitive. And any suggestions on how to improve the game is what they are looking for. Screentop GG, 105-minute playtest, 2 to 4 players, medium audience, dev status new at the time of August anyway, and looking for a publisher. Let's see where it is in the grid. Backwards. Okay, Prophecy Quest. There we go. Yeah, and I think it has some really fun, kind of Final Fantasy-like vibes. And yeah, there's a lot to. It doesn't have like deep story, or not at the time that I play tested it. That wasn't part of what they were going for. It's just theme and vibes, but there's like different systems to engage with that feel a lot like kind of an open world explore RPG type video game. So that's fun to have it in the tabletop and like a pretty approachable, I said Final Fantasy, if you know Final Fantasy, this is something that you're going to minimum to finish one Final Fantasy game, invest about 80 hours of your life into. You want to play and finish it. So Rex Regnet was played also in January, but scroll back to August, and we see it's from Edward Damon. Take tricks to score points from favorable policy, public support, and foreign backing. Can you keep the Commonwealth free while you keep your faction happy, or will history repeat? Looking for low touch testing. I wonder what that means. I would have had a follow-up question about that. Screentop GG, 75-minute for the whole test, 2 to 4 players, medium, middling, and looking for a publisher. Yeah, and that's interesting. Now that I'm reading like descriptions of games, now that I'm doing it this way as I'm highlighting the puzzle, I'm realizing like, yeah, these are completely randomly selected. They're not like the last 24 games on the list or the first or anything like that. I purposefully randomized them to get some. I cared more about long and short names being mixed. Like the form of the puzzle is what I was thinking of more as I was building it. So, and let's see, Jackson, I don't know if you think you're sharing the post as well, but your stream is only showing the word search. Yeah, no, I'm purposely not like, thanks for the heads up. I'm just reading it because it is in the Discord, and I don't feel comfortable streaming the Discord because it has real people. Like, we require people to use their real names in Discord, and I feel like part of why a lot of people like to use Discord is that it's not like internet searchable, and there's some degree of privacy expected, I think, from it. So I don't want to show the public names and posts and things in, because I'm scrolling past like shout outs and stuff that people, didn't agree to have streamed. So I'm not gonna do that, but just reading them. All right, so Spell Week from David Masnato, playtested in August. The description is, it's finals week at Witch College, and your exam is due in 5 days. Brew potions, enchant familiars, and accomplish community goals in a multi-victor game with choose your own win conditions. And in this session, David said, this session's already full. Please only give it a thumbs up if you're one of the testers. So this was discussed in the background. People asked to play it, and David told them when he would show up. And so he gave a heads up there in the looking for section about that. Screen Top GG is the platform, 90-minute for the whole test. 2 players exactly. Oh, interesting. 2 players maybe. I feel a little doubtful because I'm a little more familiar with this game, that it's an exactly 2-player game, but this playtest is asking for two players exactly. So, and that's true. Like, things that are in LFG, that's a request for the playtest is what's being stated, not the game in general. But when it's put on the website, we ask for like the whole, like what type of game it is, like how many players fit. So that's also why like the 2 forms ask for a lot of similar things, but they're not exactly the same. The audience is medium, nearing completion, and looking for a publisher. And let's see where it is in the grid. Spell Week. And Jack says makes sense. Thanks. Okay. 3 more. I was right. The Krampus Caper is in this one. So this is like that holiday hijinks Hanukkah, but this one was a lot further in dev at the time of August, I remember. So in August, Krampus Caper, 18-card escape room game, emphasis on logic, wordplay, code breaking, and observation. Work cooperatively to solve puzzles and escape, looking for gauging difficulty, smoothing out overly difficult segments, providing useful and appropriate hints. And it's on Screen Top with a custom website assisting. 75-minute playtest, 2 to 4 people, casual. New design, interesting. New, maybe for proto-spiel people. It's interesting that he said new. It's like pretty developed by the time he showed it to them, I think, considering that the app was working and everything like that. But it's under contract with the publisher. So let's see where it is in the grid. Here it is. Okay. Unraveled. Now, this is from Zoe. And I can say too, Jonathan, like Jack, is one of our cell sheet reviewers, also on the team. Okay, from August, Unraveled from Zoe says a 1 versus many game of logical evidence analysis and ally deduction, in which the sleuths try to catch or help a conspirator. And looking for testing out a new basic action and its social impact. What's funny is I think that this game was the first thing of Zoe's I ever played, probably like 4 years ago. And I think the game is just completely different when I played it. And I only played it that one time. I'm really curious to see if there's anything recognizable now. But built-in screen top, 75-minute test, 3 to 7 players, medium, middling dev status, and self-publishing. Interesting. Or self-publishing and or looking for a publisher, it says. Yeah, I don't think it's a Lunar Punk umbrella kind of thing, as far as I know. I don't think it's a. I think there is our win-loss conditions, but it might have changed. I think maybe, like when I played it, there were, but unraveled. But there might not be anymore. And the last one is Wordsmith. Okay, from August, from David Kessler, who's one of our newsletter writers. See, now you hear, if you come to Protosphere Online, there's a lot of little things we need help with. And I find manageable jobs for different kinds of people. Yeah, a lot of the people that I've mentioned are people who help with one task or another. This is a head-to-head word construction and word deduction game. Figure out your opponent's puzzle before they figure out yours. I think I have played this one, but I don't know if it was called that when I played it. Looking for general feedback. I think I might have played it longer ago than August, but Screentop GG, 65 minutes, 2 players, medium audience, middling, with no plan to publish. No plan to publish. All right, David. This one is kind of like you make a, not Wordle. Well, one of the kind of puzzles that I do here are crisscross puzzles. And I think the puzzle that you make in this game of David's is kind of like a crisscross. It's a crossword without clues. Just what matters is that the words fit together appropriately. Well, kind of like Scrabble. Okay, then that's the end for this puzzle. Thanks to all who are joining me here. Let me swing back to the main screen and to say goodbye. And just a remind one more time, this is the week leading up to Protosphere Online. We'll have another stream on Thursday night. Not Minigame Monday, a stream that we only do 3 times a year, which is the showcase for prototypes that have been posted on the website before the convention, so that we can see more details about them and talk about them with the attendees, the viewers of the stream who may be attending, like getting hyped up to attend the next day, or may just be coming to say hello because they can't attend for the weekend, and talking about like what they've played, if when they see a game that they've seen before and they've play tested it, or the designer can answer questions. Emily Vincent will be joining me as my co-host for that stream, and that'll be on Thursday night at 9:30 Eastern. So that'll be the next stream instead of Minigame Monday. And I am still trying to decide if I am going to do a Minigame Monday the next week, this very next week, because generally I will stay in the server for Protosphere Online until everyone is done testing. I don't kick people out because I don't have to, like I would if I were at a hotel and they were going to charge me a fee if I kept people around. I don't have that problem. So we take advantage of that and let people go ahead and finish, or even play if they had one more play test they wanted to get in. We'll do that, and then it means I'm up very late on Sunday night for a Protospiel weekend, and this is why I only do it 3 times. If I did it every week, I couldn't do that, but 3 times a year I can do that. So I may be, it may not be a good idea for me to run Minigame Monday next week, but if I don't run it next week, I definitely will run it the week after that, and we'll have the very last one from August 24, which will be a jigsaw puzzle of those games that were put on the website. So same ones that would have been presented as long as they were in the showcase before the weekend. You can keep posting to the website during the weekend, but you won't get your game in the showcase if you do that as an attending designer. So we'll see you for the next time, and thanks for joining me this time. Have a good week.